This is a Fatal 4 podcast.
It's not Mark Briscoe's time. But Ron is going to try to put him away. Riccaboni. Oh, didn't get all of it.
Welcome to Didn't Get All of It. It's a new year, which means we have nothing to talk about because the last week has been holidays, so there's not a ton of wrestling news, but we'll make do. We'll make this entertaining probably. I'm Paul Griffin, and joining me is the rest of the Fatal Four. All of us very sick, except for this man, B-Rob.
I'm here taking my B12 vitamins and fish oils and elderberry serums, so I'm not sick.
Okay, well, that's good. Also here taking ivermectin is Cody.
Hey everybody, I'm sick. Yeah.
Wicked
And
sick.
Finally joining us is a man I went on a date with this weekend, Pro Wrestling Noah.
Hi, my chest hurts because I've been coughing so much. Probably from that date because we did a lot of cardio. Me and Paul did a lot of cardio on that date.
I feel bad that we didn't invite B-Rob, but we weren't intending to do this because we all went to the ROW show together and it let out at like 7 because it's a Sunday show and everybody has to go work at the gym tomorrow morning. And like halfway home, I'm like, what if we found a DDR cabinet somewhere? So we did. And that's how we spent the rest of the night.
No, it was probably like, I know just the place.
He didn't. I did.
Oh.
But it
So you
turns
didn't
out
go find one. You knew where it was.
I didn't know how to get to this place. I just figured they would have it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't DDR. It was like,
I think it was called like Step Maniacs or something. It was like
Mania 10.
Yeah, it was like legally distinct DDR. The UI looked exactly like it, except it had like a center input, which DDR.
Yeah, it has a center button, which is not good for people like us who only know 4 directions.
Yeah.
It was not the corner game though. The corner game, no, fuck corner game. Who can play that?
In the groove. No one likes In the Groove.
No, not that groove. So we did that. Turns out 2 songs is very difficult when you're in your mid-30s.
Yeah, easily gassed, especially if you're drinking cider at the same time.
Yeah. Hey, we impressed that little girl though. She thought we were really good at DDR.
Yeah, that made your night.
I'm still cheerful over that. For people, no one knows this. We did 2 songs, and as soon as we're done, this girl who's like maybe 18, barely legal, comes up and is like, "Wow, how did you guys get so good?" And we're like, "We just haven't played in 20 years. We're probably better if we had some practice."
We're just both in our mid-30s and used to do this 20 years ago.
Yeah, we grew up on it. So yeah, that was a hoot. It was nice to know that I still had it. Don't have it on Guitar Hero anymore, though.
I never had that.
I do have it on my new favorite game, which I will be calling Jub Eat.
Yes.
I think it's actually called Jubeat, which is inappropriate.
Whoa.
So Jub Eat is my new favorite game. It's basically whack-a-mole DDR, and it has like 5 squares, and then you have to hit them in the proper order, and it's really stupid and fun.
It's very satisfying. I think a lot of it has to do with like how tactile those buttons are, but it makes you feel real cool.
Yeah, I assure you, the videos prove that we do not look very cool at all. But yeah, arcades, they're fun. I did look for a DDR cabinet in Houston. I don't think there is any.
Yeah, they're harder to find. I think Konami just like doesn't care about video games as much as they used to. They're still making them, but less so than they used
That's
to.
weird.
They care
I read
a lot
that,
more about their health spas these days.
I read that they used to be in Dave & Buster's, and then Dave & Buster's didn't want to pay something for DDR, so now they don't have it at all. But there's a place called Round 1 that is opening that does have DDR.
Wait, a Round 1 is coming to Houston?
Well, it's coming to Humble.
Wait,
It's going to be a trek. Yeah, it's spelled Humble.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
but it's pronounced humble.
Yeah, like Jesus is Jesus.
Yeah.
Barney
it's basically the
Umble.
same. So yeah, we're getting a round one, which will have a DDR cabinet.
Well, that's
And then I
closer. The previously the closest round one was in Dallas, so I guess Umble is a lot closer than Dallas.
Humble
Well, I
is
looked
right
where I'm
around the
going, and
corner
there's an
from
hour
you.
away for me once I move to Charlotte. So we will make this work.
Round one's so good.
Anyway, I highly recommend everyone go on a platonic date with your friend to an arcade and get blown up real bad with cardio.
What do you mean? What do you mean platonic? Heard you guys are working on each other's cardio.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
That doesn't sound.
we're just
platonic.
warming
playing
up.
DDR. Yeah.
Just warming up for the main event, which is not a good arcade.
Yeah, a
Or
lot less good
WWE show.
than the one we went to.
I went to a WWE show this week.
What?
That's right, you did.
It's been a busy fucking week for me. That's probably why my body is saying stop it. I went out yesterday and like bar hopped with some friends, and then this morning I woke up and my Whoop band had me at 1% recovery, which is really, really not good. And every time I read about Whoop on Reddit and people are like, does this mean I'm dying? Most people are like, did you drink any alcohol yesterday? And I'm like, yeah, I do that every day, so it doesn't do that to me. And the other thing is, maybe you are getting sick. And I think it's right. I think he just read all of my stuff and was like, yeah, this dude's on his getting sick now bed.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
that's fun.
Now you have whooping cough.
I think that's Cody, considering what we've heard before starting this show.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know what I have, but I woke up very stuffy this morning. But I'm still here because I care about you, lovely listeners.
I actually wanted to call in sick, but now I realize that wouldn't have worked. It would just be
Yeah, 'cause
B-Rob hosting solo.
Solo B-Rod pod.
If Paul's not here, we're all out here.
Yeah.
Speaking of here, normally we don't bother to promote any of this stuff at the beginning of the show, but all of our year-end awards are out. You can head over to fatal4pod.com and check out the best of show that we put out earlier this week. And the worst of show is exclusive to the Patreon. So sign up for patreon.com/fatal4pod. $3 a month, and you get access to the worst of 2024 show. Plus ad-free episodes, which means you can listen to Didn't Get All of It Japan's Boomaye Awards, which will be ad-free if you sign up for the Patreon. And then finally, we are going to record our big 2024 year-in review podcast, I think, on Sunday. So that'll be coming out to the $5 tier soon.
Mm-hmm.
The whole crew.
The gang will all be here. In the meantime, we'll be coping with our sicknesses and talking about AEW featuring everyone's favorite new performer, Cope.
Who is
Why'd
a
they
dope?
do that?
It was
What a bad decision.
World's End was this weekend, and at the end of the show, Adam Copeland returned. You might know him as Edge or legendary Adam Copeland. So at the end of World's End, they set up a 6-man tag for Dynamite.
For whatever reason.
Yeah, with rated FTR against everybody's favorite Death Riders. And I didn't realize this because I only watched it on YouTube. They have decided to just start calling him Cope.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
That
that they
fucking
decided.
sucks.
I think Adam Copeland decided.
Yeah,
That stinks.
because
Yeah, apparently this
Somebody-
is something that he's
Tell them
been
no.
gradually moving toward wanting to be called, according to him in an interview with Renee Paquette.
and plus he owns the trademark copyright for it, so he gets paid for it if they use it.
For Cope?
Yep.
I need to
That
tell
stinks.
Twitter all the people telling each other to cope when stuff happens.
We're gonna have to add a new category to our award show next year or this year.
Stupid
for
gimmicks.
worst fucking name in the industry.
It just sounds awkward. It sounds awkward when commentary does it. It's
very awkward when you just look at him and you know him to be someone else.
Yeah. I mean, I know they have too many Adams on the show, but this was not
Yeah.
the right way to address that.
I also don't think that matters because AEW pretends their fans are very smart and they put on a smart product for the fans. They should be able to tell, Adam Small from Adam Large from Adam Cowboy.
Wait, how many Adams do they have? Is it just
I think
Adam
I just named all
Cole?
three.
Adam Page,
Cole.
Yeah.
I totally
Adam Copeland,
totally forgot about Adam Cole.
baby.
Well, we're going to talk about him soon.
Yeah.
Adam Swerve Strickland.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, it is. Adam
That's his middle
Schiavone.
name.
Adam Allen. There's a lot of them.
Up and Adam Allen. Yeah, so World's End happened.
Yeah. I watched one of the matches. Unfortunately, it was the worst one. But it sounds like the rest of the show is
I think
pretty
that's
solid.
right. It was a lot better than last year's show. Last year's show kind of infamously one of the worst pay-per-views that the company's ever put on. But this year's had one of the best matches potentially of the whole year, which, hopefully we can which yeah, exactly. It happened 3 days before the year ended. I think it should count for the year end awards next year.
I don't think so. We shouldn't have
have.
recorded it. We always didn't. We didn't get all of it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It happened after
Paul was in
we
a rush.
recorded that.
He
show.
wanted to
Dang, what
get
if
it
I
out.
ended the show right there when I said that?
I would love that.
Just hit the button.
I might.
Mhm.
No more podcast. Yeah, the show. I didn't watch any of the 0 hour. B-Rob, did you watch or care about any of that?
They had 3 matches on there. Tony Storm went up against Layla Gray. They did a little bit more of the shenanigans with the gimmick. But other than that, Jeff Jarrett had a match with QT Marshall. And then there was a big 8-man tag that I didn't really care too much for.
Same.
Between Leo Rush and Don Callis group against the Outrunners and Top Flight.
Yeah, I mostly had that on in the background as I was like getting snacks prepared for the actual main show.
I mean, it was kind of funny to me in a way because like Layla and Tony Storm started off the 0 hour, and then she came out as a valet for the last match on the 0 hour, which she like looked like she just rolled out of her match to go valet and shit. Still had a ring gear on, just like sweating and just visibly disheveled and shit. It was funny. But
Yeah.
it was what it was. It was just like a whole bunch of shit to, I guess, warm the crowd up per se. I
Yeah.
don't see who got warmed up besides the lady matches.
Right. Well, it's probably good that they were warmed up because the card proper started off with a real heater, as they say. Was the semifinals for the Continental Classic.
Yep.
Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay, which after this match happened was just like, boy, that's probably going to be one of the best matches of the card, which would then
Psych!
be superseded by the finals of this Continental Classic tournament. But yeah, that match was really, really good for reasons that are similar to the match that comes way later in the card. But
Yeah, and this was their second meeting here in AEW or whatnot, so they ran it back.
Oh, that's right.
Which was pretty cool. I mean, I know it was a semifinal match, but they billed this as a Fletcher Ospreay too. But I mean, they beat each other's ass, but Kyle firmly had the hand in the whole match, but he just kind of fell by the wayside at the end.
yeah, hopefully he gets to do some cool stuff after this. I definitely feel like he's proven himself to be a formidable opponent.
Yeah. And that was the
So-
thing about this. Here in AEW, they're 1-1, and Ospreay, kind of pointed that out at the end of the match or whatever. So they are 1-1, so they're going to probably run back the rubber match.
That's a good point. And then the other side of the semifinals was Kazuchika Okada versus Ricochet, which really, I think, cemented the Ricochet's
Ricochet is a
status
bald boy.
at this point. The crowd was just tearing him up about his baldness. At one point, started I think this was this match when they started doing the na hey you're bald.
I didn't catch that one. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, and then also Okada having Ricochet sit in the middle of the ring, and then Okada runs like every single rope, and then just stops behind him and smacks his bald head from behind. Was a very funny spot.
So loud. It sounded like a Young Bucks thigh slap.
When are we getting the I think you should leave signs for Ricochet? Like for Jeliatal, and I don't like him. I want him to be bald.
Whenever you go to a show,
I might have to do it myself.
Yeah, put on the gauntlet.
I mean, their fans do that stuff in between bringing Final Fantasy VIII signs.
Yeah, another one.
I think
thankfully the slander has stopped and everyone has recognized that's a very good game.
I think at this point, all the signs in the crowd are just meant for Botchamania. Nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, and popping. The end of this match, though, really solidified the Ricochet situation because Swerve Strickland came out and was like, haha, you idiot. And then
toilet paper rained from the ceilings.
Just so much toilet paper thrown into the ring.
Nana ran around the ring with a wagon full of toilet paper, handing it out.
So good. Which I guess was like good on them for capitalizing on that, because that happened like just the night before at Collision. People were in what was the Hammerstein ballroom? Yeah,
that whole run of them in the Hammerstein that kept happening. They're throwing the toilet paper at him.
Yeah,
and that's where we got the clip of or not the clip, but the match of Ricochet and Ospreay, where he picked up one of the rolls and rubbed his butt and crotch with it, then put it in Ospreay face.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that was a great moment.
He can't do anything right, really, up until Dynamite, because like people were ragging on him, because like that was a pretty cool, I guess, like a visual for, you know, if your opponent, you wipe yourself, then you put it in his face. That's, I mean, degrading. But they got on Ricochet ass because he can't do nothing right, because he wiped from back to front.
Hey, some people do it that way.
You shouldn't though.
That's very dangerous. You should not do that.
You shouldn't do that.
But also get a bidet, Ricochet.
Mm-hmm. Ricochet bidet.
That rhymed.
It did. It's like poetry.
Yeah, you gotta have one with it.
Poetry.
Yeah, you gotta. Never mind. Continue.
Do you have anything to say about this Mariah May versus Thunder Rosa match? Because I don't really.
I like Mariah May a lot, and it was right for her to win. Week. Yes, I love her. Love her a lot. And if you don't know what he's talking about, sign up for our Patreon and get some of these awards in your system and the free stuff. Subscribe. Yeah, Mariah May did her thing. I mean, that's all I say about it. I mean, people poo-poo on Thunder Rosa. I mean, but it was kind of refreshing because supposedly, you know, this is Thunder Rosa's bag, doing street fights and all this hardcore bullshit, but she got her ass handed to her by Mariah May. So
that pinata had tax in it.
It had tax in that thing
because it was a Tijuana street fight.
And
so wait, kids in Tijuana are just like breaking open pinatas with tax in them? That sucks.
Probably.
That ain't candy.
Yeah, but like Mariah May also got in Thunder Rosa's father's face. Stole his cane from him and mocked him. Started walking like an old crippled person. And threw his cane down on the ground. Good
it's
stuff.
Good that her dad is down to clown like that.
Yeah.
Paul, what did you think of MJF versus Adam Cole for the Dynamite?
God, it was terrible. How was this like a top program a year ago? This sucked so bad.
And this is supposed to be like the finale to it.
It was so funny because like both guys immediately started blading like of nothing shots. And I guess to create intrigue. But that's a problem with AEW is everybody bleeds, so none of it matters. This match is like the epitome of that because both guys are bleeding. Nobody cared. Nobody cares about this program because MJF is never there, and Adam Cole is unfortunately Adam Cole right now. I don't know if he can do anything about that, but he's kind of lost it since NXT. The point is, it stunk, and I particularly hated the Panama Sunrise into his finish that MJF kicked out of, and then MJF later winning clean with the fucking draping pile driver rope move.
The heat seeker.
The heat seeker.
Like Adam Cole got to hit his finish and MJF got to kick out of it, and then Adam Cole was not allowed to kick out of MJF's finish. I mean, all this tells me is that they've completely soured on Adam Cole, which welcome to the club. But also, like MJF kind of stinks too. So
yeah, the state of both of the performers is not at the most that it's ever been. But post-match, we did get a reunion of sorts of the Undisputed Era plus the Kingdom.
I thought they were going to turn on him, and they even like posed like they were going to, and then they didn't. Yeah. So yeah, after MJF won clean, he got beat up by all of Adam Cole's friends. So I guess they're the same or whatever. You got to get your heat back somehow.
Fuck them.
Absolute dog shit. I would love for someone to tell me otherwise, but even our resident AEW troll in the Discord agreed. So,
now, big meaty men slapping meat in this next one.
That is true. It was, we did get meat chance for Konosuke Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs for the AEW International Championship.
Hang on, before we move on, I'm not done with the MJF stuff.
Okay.
I want to blend in some Dynamite talk here, so we're not just recapping a pay-per-view. On Dynamite this week, they aired a promo of MJF declaring that he wants his title back from Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
So that is one of the directions they're going to go. And then also Adam Cole and friends have aligned themselves with Swerve for some reason.
What? I missed that. That's stupid.
Huh.
But okay.
Yeah, I also didn't catch that.
Adam Cole misses doing bits in a house, and whose house? Swerve's house is where he wants to do bits now.
Oh no.
He can ride around on a little scooter and they can yell Adam, and then everyone can be confused because they don't know which Adam they're talking about. Is it Adam Swerve Strickland or Adam Cole?
Yeah. Also,
don't have to worry about Cope though.
Yeah, a lot of stuff got stirred up in the Discord because of that MJF promo or whatever. Because like some of the stuff he was saying in there is like more or less, fuck this company. I don't care what happens to it. Running it into the ground. All I want is my belt back. Is pretty much what he said. Then
why'd you get a fucking tattoo?
Exactly. That's what they were up in arms about in the Discord. So it was just like, some people were saying, hey, good guys go bad guys go good. And that's why I like this heel face shit is stupid. But, it was just, I would implore you to go to fatal4pod.com, FOUR, because it was a lot of stuff to recap. But they got pissed. And that was one of the talking points that Cody brought up. That was like, the discussion was back and forth on or whatever. It was like, you just join the Discord.
I mean, if you like listening to us talk about wrestling, imagine doing that every day of the week with us. Yeah. We talk about other stuff too, but that is an option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Find cowboy hats. Got a good dealer connection.
Yeah, well, we're all from Texas except for Cody.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We know a cowboy hat when we see him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now talk about Hobbs. Is this even worth talking about? Like, is something happening here?
Nah.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, what's his face? Callous shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a fine match, but not really anything too crazy
to write home about. I mean, I guess I don't remember the particulars, to follow or whatever, but it was to put the cap on it. Like, Hobbs was a part of the Don Callis family. He got hurt. And, and you heard his grievances on air. Hey, you didn't check on me, blah, 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 blah. I want to take everything from you. And that's starting with Takeshita and his title. So, they done had the match. And I can't recall, Noah, were there any shenanigans?
Not from what I remember.
Yeah. I think he just beat him clean. So presumably that's the
clean.
end of it.
Yeah. So yeah, Takeshita gets to keep his belt, but I guess Hobbs is like proving himself to be a better performer. I don't know. I don't know.
But also, you flash forward to a Fight for the Fallen, the Dynamite episode. He had a squash match against two nobodies.
Yeah, which I think they've done before. Oh wait, no, they did that with Bobby Lashley too recently.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so maybe they're setting up for those two
match. Maybe
meat on meat.
That would be a big meat match. Pounce versus Spear.
Are they done with the Swerve Lashley program? Is that wrapped?
I mean, from what we saw here with freaking Ricochet and Swerve, it looks like they're going back to that again.
Yeah, because on Dynamite, Ricochet killed him with scissors.
Scissors.
And was very violent.
Proven that he was a part of the Acclaim now.
Also proving that you shouldn't bully people too much because they will stab you with scissors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that
Scissor
also
him,
led
Daddy.
to Adam Cole and friends running out to save Swerve well after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll watch you get jabbed a couple times, mangled, beat on, then we'll come save you.
Yeah, I heard Undisputed Kingdom is on their way to New Orleans right now to check it out.
Oh my god. The longest match on the card.
Monet versus Statlander?
The longest match on the card. I think probably the longest women's match they've done too. Yeah, 24 minutes and 35 seconds.
Jeez.
Tony heard the criticisms.
Mm-hmm.
Women can't wrestle 20 minutes. I'll show you. They can wrestle 24 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Kiefer Sutherland would be proud.
Me too.
Yeah, I thought it was good. They did the damn thing. It's just like we talked about just the stature of Mercedes and whatnot, and her finishing move that she likes to do. You know, that little gory special swing around DDT thing or whatever. Look goofy as fuck doing it on Statlander, but you know,
just because of the size difference.
Yeah, because it's like when she pick her up, it's just like she's still bigger than her or whatever, even if she got her knees tucked, and it just looked weird as shit. So, but I mean, I mean, it's a move. She pulled it off, and I mean, there was a lot of good transitions in there, a good amount of back and forth and whatnot. It was a solid match or whatever.
I think Mercedes is really proving herself to be like one of the most competent women on the roster. To like, she probably won't have a bad match, and she will, you know, just really kind of keep it together to have like consistently good matches.
She keeps her bad to her promos, which we saw on Dynamite this week. Yeah. Goodness,
Lady Ricochet.
She I don't know if this was WWE had guardrails on her or if it was always this way, but this was a very bad promo that absolutely explains why she had only one line in Mandalorian and why she hasn't gotten another acting role.
You've been waiting to say that all day.
I know, because I already texted to you guys.
I know.
But yeah, she fucking stinks at talking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But some of the fallout from this match and the last match. So Mercedes is going into the Tokyo Dome this weekend for a Wrestle Dynasty as a strong, you know, the women's strong champion. And she's going up against Mina Shirakawa, who is the Rev Pro women's champion. And both titles are on the line. So it's winner take all in that. Also, Takeshita, and it's been officially announced now, Takeshita, January 4th for Wrestle Kingdom, is going up against Shingo Takagi, who is the never openweight champion. And this match is also winner takes all.
Can we assume that the Mercedes program carries over to Dynamite?
Possibly.
Like, why give her a promo to even hype this up if they're not going to have a follow-up on it after one of them has all the belts?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's weird because the New Japan Strong Belt is a New Japan title, but those titles, the strong titles specifically, are exclusive to the U.S. And I know Mina I don't think she's taking residency here in the U.S. So it would have made sense to put the Japanese title on her because she's going to be in Japan more. But I don't know, since it's American title. It's weird shit. So I don't know.
It's too fucking complicated.
So much shit's going on. And we can say AEW got a lot of belts, but they currently have one less belt than WWE right now.
Until Monday, right?
What's happening?
Well, Dakota's going to win the Intercontinental title, so now they'll have the same amount of belts.
Let's
But also,
go.
aren't they going to have Travis Scott defend the Hardcore title?
That was Cody might know more about that.
He's supposed to be there, unless they change something.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, but I don't know.
We'll talk about that after we're done with AEW.
Yeah,
But so a lot of stuff.
I want to get to the last match, or not the last, but the best match on the card here.
That should have been the last match.
Yeah, because I feel like when we were running this card down on a previous episode, I think we were saying the most interesting thing would have been Kyle Fletcher versus Okada, and it ended up being Will Ospreay versus Okada, which ended up, I think, being the better decision because I feel like the stakes that they kind of projected for this ended up being really cool and interesting because they set it up as the potential for Will Ospreay to overcome his mentor. Or if Okada wins, he becomes the greatest tournament fighter of all time.
And then, as this tournament progressed or whatnot, I was leaning more towards Ospreay and Okada. Because, I look at it this way. I mean, I know y'all don't watch a lot of New Japan and everything or whatever, but, Okada is the shit in Japan. Like I said, best tournament wrestler they have over in that country or whatever. And record breaking competitor out there in Japan. Daggone just longest reigns. I think most title defenses. Cass and Will are probably yelling at me right now if I'm getting any of this wrong. But Okada is the shit just on the fact of tournaments and just his title reign over there in Japan. And me looking at this now, just in hindsight, getting past what I want as a viewer, because I did want Fletcher and Ospreay again in the finals. I mean, we got it beforehand, but still, you're not going to bring Okada from Japan to this country, in this company, put him in this G1S style tournament, and have him fucking lose the thing. So it was just Okada had to win. But then the reveal at the end of the match, when it was over, you want to talk more about that, Noah?
The reveal at the end of the match.
Christopher Daniels. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Kenny Omega comes out to present the belt.
Hell yeah.
Because apparently Christopher Daniels is not EVP anymore. But Kenny Omega is.
Yeah, and he looks damn good. Better than he did in a while. And these two have a storied rival. Just so many 6, 7, 8-star matches and shit against each other, and the potential to run that back here in the future. I mean, that's interesting.
Yes. But yeah, this match was so good. Yeah, just definitely go look it up if you hadn't seen it.
If you want to watch 2 matches on the show, maybe 3, watch
Adam Cole and MJF.
No,
so you can understand how bad it was. You have to set the bar. It's like putting a banana next to something for scale.
No,
this was the banana of the show.
No, let's not do that. Watch Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher. You watch the match we just talked about, and then you watch Okada and Ricochet and whatnot. But really, Ospreay and Fletcher and you're right. All the continental stuff. Watch all that shit because that's what this pay-per-view was.
Yeah, because boy, this last match for the fatal 4-way for the world heavyweight championship, if that's what it's called, the AEW World Championship. John Moxley, Hangman Adam Page, Orange Cassidy, Jay White. This thing was super quick in a way that was kind of bad. Like it just kind of ended out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, okay, because all the bad guys came out, or all the Death Riders came out and beat everyone up, and then Moxley got a flash pin, and that's how we ended the pay-per-view.
Didn't like it.
Stinky.
Didn't like it whatsoever.
And then, like, as far as that, we pretty much talked about all the important stuff from the, inaugural Max streamed episode of Dynamite, Fight for the Fallen. But the one other thing I want to cover about it is the Jeff Jarrett stuff.
Yeah. I was hoping he was talking about retiring.
What are we doing with this? Why tease a retirement and be like, actually, I want the world title?
I mean,
no one interrupted him. Nothing happened.
Yeah. I jump on the necks on all these old folks or whatever, but like so far he's been inoffensive to me. But if
he spent his whole career.
Yeah, his whole ass. Yes.
His whole career being an offensive piece of trash in the ring. Like all of TNA. People are like, oh, we have all these fond memories. You guys, everybody needs a better memory. That's why you get the same fucking presidents you don't like. That's why you pretend Jeff Jarrett's fucking good. He spent like 15 years making TNA unwatchable trash.
Yeah, but he's actually good now. He should win the world title.
We should be talking about former world champion Monty Brown and all the great things that he accomplished in his career. And instead, we got Jeff Jarrett, and they're here, and all that bullshit. Planet Jarrett, get out of here. Just because he's inoffensive today, there's just no room for him to be offensive because Chris Jericho's already there.
Anyway, like I was saying before Paul wet his pants, if this is like for real, the last thing he does on the way out, I'm all right. Just let him ride with it. I don't think he should win, but
it ain't the last thing.
Yeah, he's a grifter, but we'll see. I'll be upset afterwards if he hang around longer than he need to.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, this was just like adding to, like there were like 3 or 4 different people going like, I'm going to go for the world championship, and that's why I'm going to be in the casino gauntlet match. Like that's pretty much what this was. Which then
and it is a good case for murder too. Somebody going to murder that old guy.
I also think that AEW just always has to have someone retiring at all times.
Yeah, they hired a lot of old people.
Yeah, a lot of old people gotta feel the stakes. But then the main event of this episode of Dynamite was I believe triple threat to determine who would be the number 1 slot in that casino gauntlet match, and it's what's his face, Jay White got it. So we know that going into that casino gauntlet match.
Before we go to break, I think it's worth highlighting that Julia Hart is back.
Yes.
Yeah,
she beat Jamie Hayter. Who has not found her footing since returning.
Yeah.
But Julia Hart rules.
Yeah.
And
she brought that arrow out.
I want to complain about Hangman beat up Orange Cassidy so bad that officials ran out to break it up, and Christopher Daniels got beat up as well. And then later, Ricochet is getting murdered with scissors, and nobody fucking shows up. Orange Cassidy took 2 pile drivers, and everyone's like, that's pushing it.
We gotta stop this.
This dude is getting stabbed in the head with sharp objects, and they're like, this is fine, actually. This is just wrestling.
He was in the crowd. What are we supposed to do?
He bought a ticket. He can do that.
Yeah. Can't cross the bridge.
It's just dumb shit that like that shouldn't. Both of these things shouldn't happen on the same show.
Yeah.
Or at least like have all the officials occupied so they can't break it up. I don't know. Basic shit.
Classic quality control problem.
One other thing, AEW Dynamite has a new theme song. I'm so excited by the Pointer Sisters, which is just another absolute modern banger that we all know and love. Top 40 hit right now today.
And love.
What a weird decision.
It's a great song, but like doesn't make any sense for Dynamite. And I know what they're trying to do, and I just don't think it's the same as Saturday night. But speaking of new themes, hopefully we will have one on Netflix Raw, which we will talk about right after this break, where you will hear ads from your local car dealership, maybe. All All right, we are back talking about all things WWE from this week. Thankfully, Cody did some homework and watched SmackDown and was kind enough to inform us that it was absolute dog shit. So I don't think we need to talk about it.
Yeah, like literally nothing worthwhile.
I mean, we talked about it last week too. I don't know how they're going to get 3 hours out of this stuff. They're going to have to add some people to that roster.
Hours.
They're going to have to shake things up a bit.
They should have kept it at 2 hours and then also kept Raw at 2 hours.
They should not have kept Raw at 2 hours, but they should have gotten SmackDown to be good and kept it at 2 hours. If you can't do good 2 hours, you certainly can't do 3 hours.
Oh my God.
But we'll find out because the next one, which I guess airs tonight, is 3 hours. We're all excited. Also, B-Rob, I think, watched NXT, but the only thing that I saw of note coming out of it was people think Joe Hendry was teased for Raw.
Yeah.
And as much as I like Joe Hendry, I do not think he should be on Raw. I think he should be in the Royal Rumble.
You can do both.
Go from there.
Yeah, why not both?
I do think like if he is
You
going
just
to
want
show
the
up,
surprise, right?
I think if he is going to show up, it's going to be to confront John Cena. Like, because John Cena will be the guy that says his name because he can do that fourth wall breaky thing. And I assume Cena's going to announce himself for the Rumble itself and say, like, maybe I could get into it with Randy Orton. Maybe I could get into it with Joe Hendry. And then he'll show up and they'll do a stare down or something.
I like that.
I could see that happening.
So both. There you go.
But I could also not see it happening at all. And Joe Hendry doesn't appear again in WWE.
That would be,
which would make me very sad. But yeah, so that was SmackDown and NXT. We covered that quick and easy. I got to go to Raw this week and hang out in the suite right next to where they filmed everything, apparently.
I'll just say a lot of stuff happened according to pictures you were sending us.
That was very unexpected because they've never done that. And it's like the one time I'm in a suite and I just look over and I'm like, why is the New Day next to us? And then like it just kept happening. So like we would go out into the hallway, like every suite would empty after those segments of people just like trying to get pictures of folks. So that was fun. The poor security guard was just like a Toyota Center guy. And he's like, you guys, please stop doing this. And I'm like, I'm just here to get hand sanitizer. I think everybody else here is for a sip of water. He was like, I don't know. Like no one was crowding the door or anything. Like everybody was being very, very cordial, but he was very much like, I got to tell you guys to like, stop doing this.
Stop looking.
Don't look at anybody. So that was really cool. But they had a couple things on Raw worth talking about. One being the Chad Gable and Otis match.
Hell yeah.
Fucking rocked. Absolutely rocked. Go out of your way to see that.
Fucking deadlifted Otis.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
I'm thinking Otis starting to lose steam on that caliper, man.
Yeah.
Because like
people want Otis to be a badass, not a worm guy.
Well, yeah, because like he used to do that. And then, like, he would just get up to his feet and do, like, a little dance, then drop the elbow. Now he just, like...
Yeah, he just...
him ripping his shirt off got a massive pop, though. So, like, people are still into him. I loved all the stuff they did around the ankle. He didn't immediately tap, and they worked it over for quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good.
Can we imagine a world to where they let Otis keep and cash in his Money in the Bank?
No, I can't imagine that.
Because we almost had that at one point.
It's really weird that nothing came of that. Like, who stole was it The Miz who stole it from him?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was it.
He became champion.
That was it. They didn't trust Otis. They should have let him do it for like a month.
Yeah, I mean, it was during the pandemic. Cody wasn't watching, so they could have did it.
Just the worst time in wrestling. The best they could have done was given us some Otis world title program.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they're really careful about putting the championship on people now because they do have a lineage of junk champions like Jinder Mahal, and that time Jinder Mahal was champion.
It was all right.
Dolph Ziggler. Not everybody gets. You can't just be like, oh, they're former world champion. It's like, well, he wrestles on main event exclusively, so can't be that good. What was also good, Dakota took on Zoe to advance in the Intercontinental Championship tournament.
Let's go.
This is quite good.
This is a good match. Yeah.
Very good. Dakota, I mean, the crowd was like not super into it, but as it went on, they really got into it. So there's something there. I think, I hope they don't fuck this one up, because it absolutely should be Dakota that wins this title. What I was a little surprised by,
candidate.
What I was surprised by was that Io took on Lyra for the to advance, and Io lost. So they're not going to do damage control against each other. It's two people who've never won, a major title. So
I think this is still interesting though, because like we've been saying, Lyra has been getting better, and I think it's cool that she's in the finals.
Yeah, I think it'll be good regardless. But I can't, unless the idea is like, hey, we run a program with Io after the fact, or maybe she's jealous that she didn't get to get the belt.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Or maybe there's, like there was before within Damage Control, some, jealousy over people having titles and other people not having titles.
What the heck? They've never done that. And finally, the only other thing worth talking about on Raw was this main event promo between Seth and CM Punk.
This was a hoot.
This was incredible. This was a perfect pro wrestling promo. It did every. So. It checked every box. It did everything.
They jabbed each other personally.
Yep.
To add heat to their program, which was good.
It was a perfect blend of like blurring the lines and realism and storyline and kayfabe. It all made sense. No one, I don't think either one of them came out on top. The end result was just, I want to see these two fight.
I think it got a little silly toward the end when they started making their analogies to things, like CM Punk's like getting shot with arrows story, and then Seth Rollins being like, "You're a cancer, and I'm going to burn you." I mean, I get it, but it was also like, this seems extra rehearsed. Where before it was very much like, "Where the fuck's your wife?" and Vince McMahon sure liked you. Like that's more like, I don't know. That came off more natural. Where the rest was like, I have rehearsed this thing, and the jerk store called, and they're running out of you.
Well, yeah, that was like, I think that was more like, oh, you feeling yourself now. Let me take you down a peg to where like these two are on the same accord. Like, all right, we know what we have to do here. We eye to eye. Let's make this work.
Sure, it was still good. I'm not disputing that by any means. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is on WWE Netflix starting on Monday. Raw, 3 hours. They also announced that John Cena will be back. And what else is on this show? CM Punk, Rollins. Solo and Roman.
Right. Tribal Combat.
Yeah, we're all excited for that. I assume that's when Dwayne shows up and Solo still wins. The idea that Solo is going to be beating Roman Reigns, a guy I also do not like Roman Reigns, is an absurd thing to even consider. Like, it's completely unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I am genuinely so excited for Jan 6. For Jan 6.
We've been saying that year after year. We love a January 6th.
I blew off my D&D group just to watch this episode. I was like, nah, sorry, I'm busy.
I can't wait for a new theme song. I wonder, I know they announced a long time ago that Travis Scott was going to be there, but like, is he though? Because they haven't said shit about it since.
Surprises, people. Surprises.
It's not surprising.
It is true. It is kind of weird that they have stopped advertising that. That's a good point.
He's not in court.
I could see him not being there, but he might be. What else are we expecting on this show? I assume like Liv and Rhea is going to result in like a Becky return, Do we get an Alexa and Charlotte return as well?
I was to say, does Charlotte come back?
Like, do we get all three? Like, oh my god, there's so many people here.
I don't think so.
I mean, do we get
I don't think
excited about
Alexa's ever
Charlotte coming back?
Yeah,
Do
dude, we don't have a show intro this week.
Exactly. Like, do we get excited because she's like the poster person of the didn't get all of it situation?
Also, she gets the title.
Probably, yeah. She's
Probably.
gonna pin Rhea right after she wins it.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna cash in her Charlotte in the Bank.
Look, they've done it before. There's no reason to think it can't happen again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then she'll
She
have
just
the
shows up and
record,
goes,
right?
Give me that.
Would she have the record? Probably. I think she already does.
No, not yet.
I don't know.
Anyway,
There's that. Drew and Jey Uso, I think, is happening. I don't think that amounts to anything. So I'm just scrolling the news here to see if there's anything that came out this week. One says that Bruce Pritchard is supposed to be back to work, which does not excite me.
Is he problematic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Boo this man.
He's probably spent the last month hanging out with Vince, getting all the new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to never hear to be the greatest of all time. That again. I fucking hate that.
This is what I draw the line.
It's weird how this has been such a great era of Raw, and they've had like the worst theme in the history of Raw. Like, it's been really, really strong. What's worse?
That NF song was pretty not good.
Which song?
All right.
The
one before this one.
Yep, the horse are coming.
Oh yeah, that one was bad too.
And like, I don't know, the pandemic era ones were bad. There was some generic shit.
All right,
2020s.
I liked the
was it a good one?
Was it the most recent? It was Skillet, wasn't it? The like legendary.
Yeah, that was bad.
Oh
no, the Skillet one was good.
Yeah, that one was good.
It was good enough. I mean, all things considered. They made it good by making the next several of them horrendous.
Yeah.
Speaking of horrendous themes, how about that Judgment Day song?
Oh yeah, oof. What is that?
I didn't listen.
I figured that they would like want to break them up, but then they gave them that new theme, and now I'm not so sure about it. But I think if anything, that theme is reason to break them up because it sucks.
Yeah.
I guess they just don't want to pay to fucking Alter Bridge people anymore. But yeah, that's all the WWE talk. We spent a lot of time on AEW this week, and we only had one break, which means we didn't get all of it. We will try again next week. We will surely have more to talk about with 3-hour SmackDown and Netflix Raw, and who knows? I think next week's going to be a very busy, exciting week in wrestling. Something to look forward to.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah, and then join us over here on the Japan side where we have freaking starting since the first all the way up until the 7th non-stop wrestling events.
Oh man, another 2-hour show coming. Check all that out. Head over to fatal4pod.com and get all the details on Patreon. Sign up for that because we want your money, but also it's a great way to support the show. If you're new to the show, welcome. I noticed on Blue Sky we got added to a podcast list, so thank you for listening if this is your first time. I hope you enjoyed all of the Dance Dance Revolution talk at the beginning, and yeah, next week hopefully we will all sound a little better.
You've been listening to a Fatal 4 podcast. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts and visit fatal4pod.com for more episodes, merchandise, and info on the Patreon.